Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wolverine. And I know what many of you are saying, man, that figure's old. He's been out for like a year or so, and you're actually correct, but they sent a whole bunch more out to Target, I believe, and I'm not sure if anyone else is getting it. And I know a lot of people had a hard time getting it. And with that new Wolverine that's coming out with the Gamerverse, people are really excited thinking that might be the end-all be-all. But I figured, you know what? Let's take a look at this one, and maybe this is the only one that you're really going to need. I have another Wolverine right over there. He's the brown and yellow one, but I really needed the actual Michigan Wolverine from the X-Men 97. I know he's going to look a little bit different than the other one, but I wanted the blue and yellow, or maize and blue as I'm going to refer to it. Anyway, but we're going to take a look at this, cut this guy open. He's got another head. He's got the mask if it's folded down. Two different extra hands, and obviously claw hands, because you can't have a Wolverine without claw hands. I also got some other Marvel Legends sitting up there, some older, some new, some Maximum. And anyway, there's the cross out on the back. The only other 97 I have is Bishop. I just really wanted a Bishop, and I thought he actually worked pretty well. So you can see the cross out, you can see that Wolverine. But anyway, let's open this bad boy up, look at it, and then you can decide if, hey, maybe I'm just going to hunt Target or wherever, see if I can get one of these rather than go get that Gamerverse. Again, I don't have the Gamerverse in hand. It's not going to come out for quite some time, and not everyone wants to pay the fee of, we want you to have a Silver Samurai, so you got to buy this Wolverine anyway. But let's get into this. But if you like what I have to say, if you like this type of stuff and you like Marvel Legends, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Marvel Legend. All right, so let's take a look at this guy and what he comes with. And I always like to start off with the accessories. So here we have the two extra fist hands, which, let's be honest, this is something that Logan needs and something Wolverine needs. Now, I don't have any open hands. Now, that is kind of disappointing because, let's be honest, the fact that he can't grab anything is a little disappointing. I mean, he can't always be fighting. But looking at these, you can see the adamantium placements, so that's exactly where his claws can come out. I always hated in the movie how they came out in between the knuckles. I always liked it right on the top right there, okay? So anyway, there you go. I think that looks pretty good. All right. Here we have one extra head, and this is the masked head. Paint looks pretty good, just has some white eyes. Very reminiscent of the X-Men cartoon, which is what he's supposed to be. But you got the big flare, and if you do look, you can see that this is Batman and Batman kissing. And if you've never seen it before, well, you're never not going to see it now. And then here he is with the hood down. So you can have him either with no hood, or you can have it where he kind of, well, not the hood, the mask. So he can pull the mask down. It's just going to sit there. This is something cool. It's sad that they consider this like an accessory. There's no reason why he shouldn't have a set of hands that's open where he's gripping, that he can hold something. The fact that I don't have a Wolverine that can actually hold anything, a little disappointing. I mean, every other figure has something that they can hold. So anyway, let's take a look at this guy. And when you look at this guy, he does look pretty good. He doesn't look like he's Canadian because well, they have an Australian actor, an Australian accent, something like that in the cartoon. But that's how that's the voice that we got to know. So look at those eyebrows. I think that looks nice. The eyes are painted on very good. On the back here you go, you have that little winged. It kind of reminds me of the Detroit Red Wings. Go figure, Michigan guy here. It's kind of like the winged wheel right there. But you can see the ear, and it comes down to that perfect point right in the back, where if you look close enough, it actually kind of looks like Beast. On the front, you have that classic like tiger stripes, even though he's a Wolverine. You get the yellow, you get the black, and then you have that blue. So once again, maize and blue. You have the hair that is embroidered on. Not embroidered, is, how do I say it? Is molded in, but there's no color to it. Now this is a perfect this is the perfect spot where there should have been a little bit of hair painted on it. All right, because let's be honest, this guy is supposed to have some sort of dark hair, considering we can see how hairy he actually is. But he does have the ab crunch, no diaphragm cut. And again, that is something I know on the new one that he has, is a diaphragm cut. He has the he has the boxer briefs on the outside, so he's no different than the other superheroes like Batman and Superman. Some wonderfully large legs, and then if you've never noticed, his boots are kind of shaped the exact same way as his hair and his mask are. And again, maize and blue. I know it's not perfectly maize and blue. He's got the little X right there, and then we have his claws retracted. I would love to have, I mean, again, they don't give you a lot. You know, make a set of hands where they have multiple, you know, multiple claws popping out. Maybe he just has two, so you can kind of have it going around someone's head. Maybe you just have one. You got to have an open set of hands so they can hold something. You don't need trigger fingers, but you should have something where he can hold something, because let's be honest, you're world building here. All right, as for the articulation, he can look down pretty well, and he can look up really well, which is nice. All right, side to side, and you can pop the head off, and we'll just swap it out. We'll just swap out the head since we knocked it off. All right, so maybe we will. And luckily that head came back, because for some odd reason one of my kids decided, hey, I can hear my dad is in there filming, I should probably go in there. All right. So this head can go on, and again, real good neck articulation. Don't have to worry about that. As for his T-pose, he goes up to right about there, and that's because these kind of pauldrons here are going to get in the way, unfortunately. Oh, you know what? Maybe not. We just kind of push them out of the way, and we can fold it underneath like that. Twist right there, so you have the bicep swivel. Double pinless elbows, which is something I don't have on this one here. Also, I always like the yellow one better anyway. You got your ab crunch. He can go down that far, and he can go back that far. And he does swivel back and forth. And again, this is probably the ugliest thing on any Marvel Legend, is they don't use like the hip joint like Classified does, all right, where it dips inside, and that's how they all should be. And again, it's not just about Classified, it dips in, so you don't get that once you turn it. It just kind of looks ugly. There's his Jean-Claude Van Damme with no drop down hips, which I don't mind, because that's just another thing to break. You got your thigh swivel right there. He can sit down in a vamp, a stinger. If you're Marvel Legends, you know what that is. That is the Jeep of G.I. Joe and Cobra. Double pinless knees right there. He does have his boot cut right there. Now this kind of gets in the way. It's very pliable, so you can move it, so it's not a problem. All right, but I didn't heat this up at all. Ankle rockers. So I don't think you're going to have any issues getting him posing. All right, and then we can look at the bottom really quick and see this one is made in China. All right, now a lot of the new Joe figures I know are starting to come out of, yeah, can't think of it. Are coming out of, good Lord, I cannot think of where they're coming out of. Oh, and also the butterfly joint. So good butterfly joints here. If we move it over, he can cross over real nice. So I think you're going to be able to get him in some pretty good shots. All right. Vietnam. That's it. So let's see if we can get him in his classic pose. And this is one of the poses that everyone really wanted, and they said they can't get in. And you're going to be able to get that in this new one in this Gamerverse pack. So, but for the most part, you can get them in a very similar pose. Now, again, if this moved properly rather than side to side, you'd probably be able to get him into it a little bit better. He kind of has a nice little arch. You know, he's kind of like the Hunchback of Notre Dame right there, or Notre Dame, Notre Dame. But you can get them in a fairly decent one. And looking at it from straight forward, it actually looks pretty good. It's the side that kind of has that crouch rather than where he's pulling his shoulders back. All right. Now quickly, I want to pop this off here. We're going to throw this on the back. We can throw the head right back on here. Now, when this thing does move around so much, it does make it a little bit harder sometimes to pop the head on, only because it's moving. I mean, you might have to heat it up and mold that so it stays down. When it sits up like that, it kind of looks stupid, doesn't look right. If it's all the way down, if it was molded like that, and even if you took maybe a little bit of sticky tack underneath it, maybe a little bit of Elmer's glue or like a glue stick, you might be able to do it, and that stuff just peels right off, but you could probably get it to stay down and not have to worry about anything like that. But personally, I want this head on it. All right, so we can put the mask on it. As for the hands, you pop the hands off. They pop off really easily, and I really do think that they, and not just them, all the companies have kind of mastered popping off the hands where it doesn't feel like the peg is going to pop or it's too long, all right? So there he is with his fist, so we can go around punching people. But now let's take a look at his size, all right? So one thing about Wolverine that some people may not realize is he's extremely short, about 5'3", 5'4". That's why I really like this one. He's short, and they made him the proper height right there. Now, a lot of people say, who cares about that? Hugh Jackman isn't. And that's why he wasn't the proper Wolverine, although he was wonderful. So here he is against Agent Venom, who is about the same size as all the normal Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe Classified. Here he is against the Age of Apocalypse Sabretooth, which I think is awesome. And before people say, well, he shouldn't be that small, the whole point is he's always looking up. That's why he's considered a runt. And again, I think it's awesome. And then here is the other X-Men 97 figure that I have. And you can see Bishop is way bigger. Not nearly as big as our Sabretooth, but much bigger than Wolverine. And we'll just grab them. And I think I'm going to have some fun with these two. And I don't even have Hulk completely in the shot. He is massive compared to him, which I think is awesome. Because I can have Hulk throwing him with this, or I can have them fighting. So I'm going to be looking forward to doing some photography with that. So anyway, that is your X-Men 97. I don't know if it's something that you're going to want to run out and get, but to me, this one's pretty good. I'm going to have to do some soul searching and decide if I want to spend $50 on one that comes with a Silver Samurai that I'm really not interested in. I'm not a huge Marvel Legends guy. I can't say mostly G.I. Joe. I'm a lot of G.I. Joe. Do I want to spend $50 to get that Wolverine, which, let's be honest, we're probably going to get a maximum Wolverine that will have double pinless elbows rather than single. But, all right, there you go. Let's wrap this up. All right, so there you go. That's your X-Men 97 Wolverine, your Marvel Legends. Yes, I know this is one that not everyone got. They were having a hard time finding it. I believe people got really mad that they re-released it because it meant the value of theirs dropped. Oh well, you don't buy figures for retirement. At least you shouldn't be. And if you are, too bad, you got screwed. And I don't really care because I don't feel bad for you. But anyway, there you go. X-Men 97 Wolverine. I think it's pretty fun. Like I said, I got to do some soul searching and decide if I think that one in the Gamerverse is going to be worth the $50 because I really don't want the Silver Samurai. Even though I don't have a Silver Samurai, I'll find something to do with them. But I really only want a Wolverine. And I really needed one that was in my Wolverine colors. And I wasn't searching for them. Found them at Target, $25. So if you're interested, check your targets. I know they have them there. I'm going to get out of here. You spent a lot of time with me. I appreciate it. But please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop one of these. Now you might be saying, hey, I've seen you do G.I. Joe. I've seen you do Operation Monster Force, and I've seen you do a whole bunch of like small 1/18 scale, but I've never seen you do anything like this in Marvel Legends. I need to see more. Well, right up here, I'm going to leave another video, maybe that Maximum Hulk right there. And down here will be a playlist of all the Marvel Legends that I reviewed. Take care.